This is the story of how the Bulls went from the worst team to title contention to disaster. After the Bulls did the Jimmy Butler trade in 2017, the Bulls had a terrible 3-year stretch. The fans demanded the removal of John Paxson and Gar Forman, who were one of the most hated GMs in history, as they had a lot of bad trades, draft mistakes and didn't get along with anyone. In short, they made the organisation quite toxic. The Bulls replaced Paxson and Forman with Arturas Karnisovas, who was already well respected as he drafted the MVP we know today, Nikola Jokic, and has a lot of connections in Europe. So the Chicago Bulls had good reason to believe he'd lead the franchise in stability, and maybe even the championship a few years down the line. He had Zach LaVine, a few draft picks and a couple of other young players, which could be valuable assets to help guide the Bulls to contention. In March of 2021, he traded Wendell Carter Jr., Otto Porter Jr., 2 first-round picks for Nikola Vucevic, a 2-time All-Star in his prime, who had his defensive struggles but was brilliant on the offensive end. Then came free agency. Karnisovas signed Alex Caruso and traded some veteran players and draft picks to get DeMar DeRozan and Lonzo Ball. He then traded Markkanen for a protected first-round pick and an unprotected second-round pick, which proved to be a mistake, as Markkanen has been my pick for the most improved player this year. When the 21-22 season started, Chicago came out swinging and won 4 of their first 4 games. Alex Caruso and Lonzo proved to be one of the best, if not the best, defensive backcourt in the NBA. It was hard for the opponents to even start their offense. LaVine killed defenses with an improved outside shot and powerful drives to the basket. And if LaVine couldn't score, the team could give the ball to DeMar DeRozan and let him work his mid-range mastery. DeMar played the best basketball of his life, averaging 28 points, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He was incredibly efficient in the mid-range. Doesn't matter how many guys he sent over to contest him, it was going in. His wizardry in that area looked second only to MJ and Kobe. Halfway through the season, the Bulls were top of the Eastern Conference, but then injury started to become a big factor of their future. At the start of the season, they lost Patrick Williams for 4 months due to injury, and then after 35 games, Lonzo was ruled out for the season due to a knee injury which still bothers him to this day, and might be a career-ending injury. And Caruso was in and out of the lineup for the whole season. Those were Chicago's best defenders, and without that defensive core, their defense went from top 5 to bottom 10. After the All-Star break, they lost 17 out of 25 games to finish the season, and went from 1st place to 6th place. Then, in the playoffs, the Bulls were challenged by Giannis and the Bucks, who were the worst possible team to win against for the Bulls. In Game 1, the Bulls lost by 7, and in Game 2, DeMar's brilliance led the team to a win, but then Chicago convincingly lost the next 3 games. In the off-season, LaVine got a max contract but couldn't do much else at this point, so the Bulls entered the 2023 season with the same roster but with more injuries, and everyone else got better, but the Bulls just stayed the same, as they had no cap space to sign new players and no draft capital to trade. With 2 of their best players being 32 and 33, it's clear they don't have long to win a championship. They started the season with a top 10 defense because of the return of Caruso and Williams, but the offense just wasn't working. They were last for 3-pointers made for most of the season and had a low free throw rate and very little offensive rebounding. And while DeMar is brilliant in the mid-range, it's still only 2 points, and in today's game you need shooters, which Zach LaVine was the Bulls' only option from 3. Lonzo was once again ruled out for the season. The Bulls looked lottery bound, but then, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, they traded for Patrick Beverley, who brought energy and a fighting spirit they needed more than anything. The Bulls' defense got even better as Patrick Beverley helped them become top 5 in the league. And since the trade, the Bulls led the league in shooting percentage and then became 5th in net rating. With Alex and Patrick, the perimeter penetration was shut down, which gave Vucevic time to adjust and get in good defensive positions, and DeMar worked less on the defensive end, which gave more energy for the offense. Pat Williams no longer had to guard opposing guards, and Zach LaVine managed to play a lot more in transition and worked less hard on defense, and like DeMar, had more energy for offense. LaVine is deadly in transition, with his mix of athleticism and speed and agility, and since the trade, he's averaged 29 points per game on 55, 45, 89 shooting splits. The Bulls made the play-in tournament as the 10th seed, and they beat the Raptors in the first play-in game. Then, in the second game, they lost to Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, who are now in the finals. The Bulls had hopes of winning the title, to now winning one playoff game in 2 years. It's weird that the Bulls are not bad enough to get a high draft pick. Not that it would matter anyway, as they have no draft picks for the next 3 years, and not good enough for title contention. They might lose Vucevic in free agency. DeMar is aging and is about to be on his last year of his contract, and Lonzo might be out for the 2024 season as well. They might have to blow it up and make some trades for a chance of a good future. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate if you watched up until here. Goodbye.